The seventh day of the sixth regular session of the 22nd Congress will now come to order. May we all rise for a moment of silent prayer. Roll call, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator Aritos, Senator Christian, Senator Figueroa, Senator Colan,
Oi.
Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned of Pohnpei, Senator Ned of Koshai, Senator Berman,
Amen.
Senator Romalo,
Amen.
Senator Rosamal, Senator Wali, Speaker Simina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 11 members are present.
We have a quorum to transact business today.
Point
Next
of
item.
privilege, Mr. Speaker.
State your point, Vice Chair.
On roll call, I also want the chief clerk, when she calls my name, to say Senator Christian of Pohnpei.
Okay. If that will make you feel good. All right. Next item is reading of the journal. Acting Floor.
Kailangan, Mr. Speaker, Kidiso Chapur, good morning to you and all the honorable members and staff who are watching this proceeding this morning. I move that the reading of the journal be dispensed with.
It has been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of our journal. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Presidential communications for item 5, we have 2 of them, and they are numbers 22-406 and number 22-407.
Okay, assign those communications. Next item.
FSM Supreme Court communications for item 6, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 7, member communications, we have 1, and it's number 22-18.
Okay, assign that, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 8, departmental communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Continue.
Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications, none also. Item 10, state communications, we do not have any at the moment, Mr. Speaker. Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none, Mr. Speaker. Item 12, municipal or town communications, none, Mr. Speaker. Item number 13, foreign government communications, we do not have any, Mr. Speaker. And item number 14, miscellaneous communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chief Clerk. We're now on our order of the day. Item 15, standing committee reports. Chief Clerk, do we have any?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the said item, kindly refer to an awaiting list number 22-34 for standing committee reports awaiting the 24 hours requirement.
Short recess. Congress is back in session. There is an awaiting list that's forthcoming. So, next item, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Special committee reports for item number 16, none at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Next.
Item 17, for assignment of measures and communications, please refer to referral sheet number 22-106.
Okay, Chairman, members, the committees, take note of that. Next item.
Item 18, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item number 19, Bill Galanter, we have a few of them, and the first one is on Congressional Bill number 22-267 for second and final reading. CP number 22-267, is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law Number 19-121 as amended by Public Laws Numbers 19-130, 19-142, 19-145, 19-158, 20-09, 20-02, 20-22, 20-51, 20-59, 20-70, 20-123, 20-162, 20-170, 21-35, 21-66, 21-112, 21-127, 21-198, and 22-07 by amending sections 3 and 6 thereof to change the use and allotment of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of the state of Koshai and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Any second? It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 22-267 CD1. Discussion. Short recess. Congress is back in session. I will correct my announcement. It's CP 22-267. There is no CT1 to that. So discussion on the bill. Any discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. Senator Ned of Koshai will cast the vote for Koshai, and Senator Kulen will cast the vote for Truk.
Short recess, Speaker.
Short recess. Congress is back in session. If there's no objection, discussion is closed on the bill. We'll vote by roll call of delegations on second and final reading. Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the state of Truk, Senator Colon.
Yes.
For the state of Pohnpei, Chairman Berman.
Amen.
For the state of Koshai, Senator Ned.
Yes.
For the state of Yap, Chairman Urusamal. Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill under second and final reading.
CP number 22-267 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
We are now on Congressional Bill Number 22-268 CD1 for second and final reading. CB number 22-268 CD1 is a bill for an act to amend sections 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and 12 of Public Law Number 22-153 as amended by Public Law Number 22-169 to appropriate $25,026,973 from the General Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023, to provide supplemental funding for the operations of all branches of the national government of the Federated States of Micronesia, its agencies, various programs, grants, subsidies, and contributions, and capital and human resources development, and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Any second? It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 22-268 CD1. Discussion. Any discussion? Short recess. Congress back in session. We're discussing CP number 22.
Mr. Speaker,
268 CD1. Chairman Perman, you're recognized.
thank you very much. Good morning to you, members, and all of those that are observing our session this morning. Mr. Speaker, I do have a floor amendment to offer, CP number 22-268 CD1. It's quite lengthy, and I ask the reading of will be dispensed with. I so move for the amendment.
Any second? It's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CP 22-268 CT1 offered by Chairman Berman be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. Acting Floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move that the rule that prohibit substantive amendment on second reading be suspended.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. So the relevant rules are suspended. Any discussion on the offer for amendment by Chairman Berman? Question has been called for. Without objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 22-268 CT1 offered by Chairman Berman, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offer for amendment by Chairman Berman is adopted. We now have CT2. Any further discussion on CT2? Chairman Coonan?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I wish to offer a floor amendment to CP 22-268, CT2. So move, Mr. Speaker.
It's been moved and seconded that the offered for amendment to CP 22-268 CT2 offered by Chairman Coonan be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. Okay, the relevant rules are still suspended. Discussion on the offered for amendment.
Mr.
Any
Speaker,
discussion? Vice Chairman Christian?
I'd like to offer an amendment to the amendment offered by Senator Gulant, if I may.
Proceed.
Item 7, on page 25 of the bill, between lines 4 and 5, insert the following. In parentheses, Y1, repair and refurbishment of H1 and Chief Milo, 500,000.
Okay, short recess. Congress back in session.
Mr.
Okay,
Speaker,
please restate your offered.
yes, thank you very much. I would like to offer the following amendment to amendment offered by Senator Gulant. Between line 10 and 11, insert the following. In parentheses, item Z, repair and refurbishing of H1 and Chief Milo, $500,000.
Okay, any second? It has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Vice Chairman Christian to the offer for amendment by Chairman Coonan be adopted. Any discussion on that offered oral amendment?
Short recess, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call.
Yeah, just
Congress back in session. Any discussion on the offered oral amendment by Chairman Christian? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the oral amendment by Vice Chairman Christian to the offer for amendment by Chairman Coonan, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We're now discussing the offer for amendment as orally amended. Any further discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 22-268 CT2 as offered by Chairman Coonan and as orally amended by Vice Chairman Christian, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered for amendment as orally amended once is adopted. We now have CT3. Any further discussion on CT3?
Move for the previous question.
Second.
Short recess. Congress back in session. There is that motion for previous question which was seconded. Without objection, and debate is closed. So We will vote by roll call of the delegations. Chief Clerk, second and final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the state of Truk, Chairman Colon.
Yes.
For the state of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman.
Mao.
For the state of Koshai, Vice Chairman Net.
Yes.
For the state of Yap, Chairman Rusmal.
Short recess. We're back in session. Chairman Figure, you may cast the vote for Yap.
If I cast Yap's vote, it will be no, but then he can challenge and it becomes yes, so.
The vote is yes. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill under second and final reading.
Okay, CP number 22-268, CT3, has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
We are now on Congressional Bill number 22-269 for second and final reading. CB number 22-269 is a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 22-180 by amending sections 2 and 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Yap and Truk states and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure.
Mr. Speaker,
Move for the passage of Congress Bill 22-269 on second and final reading.
second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 22-269. Any discussion on the
Speaker,
Chairman Figure?
I have a small amendment that I wish to offer. May
Proceed,
I offer?
proceed.
On page 2, line 2, delete the figure 80,000 and insert 110,000. On the same page, line 10 or 911, delete 130 and insert 100,000 in lieu thereof. I so move.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Chairman Figure to CP 22-269 be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended. So any discussion on the offered oral amendment by Chairman Figure? Discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed.
Mr. Speaker,
We will vote by, let's vote those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Figure, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We have CT1. Okay, any discussion on CT1? Vice Chairman
Mr.
Net?
Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to offer a floor amendment on the same CP number 22-269 under letter O. You should have that in front of you, so I move that we adopt this.
Second.
Short recess. Congress back in session. We're still discussing the CP 22-269 CD1. Vice Chairman Net, offer your floor amendment.
Yeah, I would like to offer the entire amendment. So I
Okay,
move.
Second.
move for adoption. Okay, it's any second?
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CP 22-269 CT1 offered by Vice Chairman Net be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. And the relevant rules are still suspended. So discussion on the offer for amendment. Vice Chairman Net, you said you have oral amendment to it?
Oral amendment, yes, Mr. Speaker. On the same, purchase of heavy equipment, please. I would request that we delete that
and put the 60,000 under U, purchase of dump trucks, to a total of 100,000 K.
Short recess. Congress is back in session, so there is that offered oral amendment to the proposed for amendment by Vice Chairman Net. Item U, increase the amount to 100,000. Item V, purchase of equipment, zeroed out. Okay, discussion on the offered oral amendment. Any
Question.
discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote on the offered oral amendment. Those in favor of it say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. So the offered oral amendment is adopted. We are now discussing the floor amendment as orally amended. Any discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 22-261 CT1 offered by Vice Chairman Net as orally amended once, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered for amendment is adopted. We now have CT2. Any further discussion on CT2? Discussion?
Mr. Speaker.
None? Chairman Romero?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to offer an oral amendment to the said bill on page 6, line item 15, delete the entirety, and on line 11, insert a new figure, 80,000.
Can you just repeat it?
The line item 15, delete, and on line item 11, increase from 65 to 80,000.
Okay. There is that offered oral amendment by motion for adoption. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Chairman Romero to CT2 be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended. Discussion on the offered oral amendment. Any discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendment by Chairman Romero, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Chairman Romero are adopted. We now have CT3. Any further discussion on CT3? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. So we will vote by roll call of the delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chuuk, Chairman Colon.
Yes.
For the state of Pohnpei, Chairman Berman.
Aye.
For the state of Koshai, Vice Chairman Net.
Yes.
For the state of Yap, Chairman Rusmal. Mr. Speaker, all 4 states voted for the said bill under second and final reading.
CP number 22-269, CD3, has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next bill under the bill calendar now is Congressional Bill number 22-271 for second and final reading. CB number 22-271 is a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $4,200,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023, for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of Yap, Koshai, Pohnpei, and Chuuk states, and for other purposes.
Short recess. Congress back in session. We're on CP 22-271. Chairman Berman.
Yeah, motion to defer action on the said bill to Thursday, session.
It's been moved and seconded that CP 22-271 be deferred to Thursday session. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Said bill is deferred to Thursday session. Next bill deferred.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are now on Congressional Bill Number 22-272 for second and final reading. CB number 22-272 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law Number 21-19 as amended by Public Laws Numbers 21-39, 21-74, 21-109, and 21-154 by amending Section 8 thereof in order to extend the time frame to vote on proposed constitutional amendments and for other purposes.
Chairman Romulo.
Move for adoption of the said bill.
Any second? It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 22-272. Discussion.
Speaker,
Chairman Fakir.
why are we amending or doing this?
Short recess. Congress is back in session. We're discussing CP 22-272. Any further discussion on that? The question has been called for without objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of the delegations, second and final reading. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Quillen.
Chuk vote yes.
For the state of Pohnpei, Chairman Furman.
Mao.
For the state of Kasai, Vice Chairman Ned.
Yes.
For the state of Yap, Chairman Urusamal. Mr. Speaker, all four states voted for the said bill under second and final reading.
CP number 22-272 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, as of now, we do not have any more bills.
Speaker.
Chairman Romulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to withdraw CP number 22-70 and put on today's calendar.
Okay, any second?
Second,
It has been moved and seconded that CP number 22-270 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Acting floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move that the rule that requires standing committee report be attached to a bill or any measure for discussion on this floor, and any other relevant rule be suspended.
Any second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the relevant rules, especially those rules requiring written report, and that a measure be in committee for a certain period of time before withdrawal be suspended. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. So be it. Now let's vote on the main motion. Those in favor of the main motion say aye.
aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. So CP 22-270 has been withdrawn from committee and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Okay, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under the bill calendar now is Congressional Bill Number 22-270 for first reading. CB number 22-270 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law Number 22-86 as amended by Public Laws Numbers 22-101, 22-102, 22-106, 22-140, 22-147, 22-161, and 22-168 by amending Section 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other public projects and social programs for the people of Chuk State and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir.
Move for the passage of the bill. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 22-270. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. We'll vote by roll call of members. First reading.
Senator Aritas, Senator Christian, Senator Figueroa, Senator Quillen,
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman,
Yes.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Neto Pompey, Senator Neto Koshai, Senator Berman,
No.
Senator Romalo,
Am I?
Senator Urusumal, Senator Wali, Speaker Sabina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we have 11 affirmative votes to the said bill under first reading.
Okay, CP number 22-270 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, as of now, we do not have any more bills.
Okay. Short
Mr.
recess.
Speaker,
Congress back in session. Chairman Figure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we go back to item 15, and that is the awaiting list.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we go back to the item 15 without objection. So be it. We're now on item 15. Chairman Figure.
Move to place Standing Committee Report 22-57 on the Standing Committee Report. for
Second.
action.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that report number 22-57 be placed on the standing committee reports calendar for action. Acting floor.
All good, Mr. Speaker. I move that the relevant rule be suspended, and so we can act on the standing committee report placed on the order.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the relevant rules, specifically the rules requiring a 24 awaiting reports for awaiting period for reports before consideration be suspended. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. So be it. Now, let's vote on the main motion. Those in favor of the main motion to place 22-57 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Standing committee report 22-57 is now placed on the calendar for action. Chief Clerk, what is it about?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We now have standing committee report number 22-57 on Congressional Resolution number 22-190 from your Committee on Ways and Means for adoption. This is on CR number 22-190, approval and acceptance of a grant in the amount of $500,000 from the U.S. Department of Interior, OIA, to fund part of the FY 2022 single audit.
Okay, Chairman Figure.
Move for the adoption of the said report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt standing committee report 22-57. Discussion on the report. Any discussion? Short recess. Congress is back in session. We're discussing that report 22-57. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question has been called for without objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of standing committee report 22-57 say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Standing committee report 22-57 is adopted by Congress. Next report, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, as of now, we do not have any more standing committee reports.
Okay. If there's no objection, we will now go back to our regular order. The next item is resolution calendar, item 20. first resolution, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Currently under the resolution calendar is a Congressional Resolution number 22-189 for adoption. CR number 22-189 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Kempo Mita Jr. to serve as a member of the Board of Directors of the Everson Petroleum Corporation, representing the private sector.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Conference is back in session. Chairman Net,
Thank you, Speaker. I move that we recommit the resolution to the committee.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that the resolution number 22-189 be recommitted to committee. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Said resolution 22-189 is recommitted to the R&D committee. Okay. Next resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are now on Congressional Resolution number 22-190 for adoption. This is attached to Standing Committee Report number 22-57. CR number 22-190 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $500,000 from the United States Department of the Interior, Office of Insular Affairs, or OIA, to fund the Everson single audit for FY 2022 as required under the amended compact, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the adoption of this resolution.
And second, it's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-190. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-190, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 22-190 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, as of now, we do not have any more resolutions.
Mr. Speaker,
Chairman Berman.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have following resolutions like to be withdrawn and placed in our resolution calendar for today.
Proceed.
CR number 22-148, 22-191, 192, and 193. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that the following resolutions, 22-148, 22-191, 22-192, 22-193 be withdrawn from committees and placed on the resolution calendar for action. The relevant rules are still suspended. Those in favor of that motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Said resolutions are withdrawn from committees and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Short recess. Congress back in session, so Chief Clerk, first resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Currently under the resolution calendar now is Congressional Resolution number 22-148 for adoption. CR number 22-148 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $85,000 from the United Nations Environment Program to fund the implementation of the Montreal Protocol Institutional Strengthening Phase 3 project, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Madam Chair, motion for adoption. It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-148. Discussion. Any discussion on the resolution? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-148 say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 22-148 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
We now have Congressional Resolution number 22-191 for adoption. CR number 22-191 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $908,299 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to fund and accelerate the prevention and control of HIV, viral hepatitis, sexually transmitted disease, and tuberculosis in the Federated States of Micronesia and U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
So move.
Chairman Pervin, any second? It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-191. Discussion. Any
Speaker.
discussion on the, yes, Chairman Rosemont?
Yeah, just a very minute, small question. The reference to U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands. This grant is for us, and these U.S. affiliated islands?
Okay, good question. Are they sharing with us in this 900,000 grant? Or that's just the name of the grant?
I believe this is the name of the grant, the title of the grant.
Okay? Is that just a description of the grant? And it's
So
for
if we,
FSM.
Mr. Speaker, expend all the money in the FSM and do not give $10 to Guam and 10 to CNMI, would we be in violation of our resolution?
Short recess? Congress is back in session. Any further discussion on
Question.
191? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-191, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 22-191 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are now on Congressional Resolution Number 22-192 for adoption. CR number 22-192 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $110,870 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Service Administration for the Maternal and Child Health Services Block Grant to the states to fund the FSM Maternal and Child Health Services for the first quarter of the budget period, October 1st, 2022 to September 30th, 2024, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
So move.
Any second? That's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-192. Discussion. Any
Mr.
discussion?
Speaker,
Yes,
Would the chairman-
Vice Chairman Christian?
would the chairman explain the difference between 191 and 192?
One is for maternal care
Yeah,
and child health. The other one is for sexually
Sexually
transmitted
transmitted diseases.
tuberculosis. And those are different animals. Okay? Any other discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution number 22-192, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 22-192 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are now on Congressional Resolution Number 22-193 for adoption. CR number 22-193 is a resolution to confirm the nomination of Mr. Sebastian Anafel to serve as a member of the MIGA Board of Directors representing the state of Yap.
Chairman,
I so move for its adoption.
any second? It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-193. Any discussion? Discussion? If none,
Question.
without objection, discussion is closed. We will vote by secret ballot. This is nomination. It requires at least 10 affirmative votes for adoption. Short recess. Congress back in session. Chief Clerk, announce the result.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Among the 11 members that are present, 10 members voted yes and 1 against.
For that reason, resolution number 22-193 is adopted by Congress. The nomination of Mr. Anafel is confirmed to the MICARE Board of Directors. Okay, let's give him a round of applause.
I second.
Okay, next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Why you vote no?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As of now, we do not have any more resolutions.
Chairman Romano.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and with the understanding from members, I wish to withdraw CR number 22-272 and place it on today's calendar.
Good.
194.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that resolution number 22-194 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 22-194 is withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We now have Congressional Resolution number 22-194 for adoption. CR number 22-194 is a resolution to request the Office of the National Public Auditor to audit the accounts, books, and other financial records of the Department of Finance and Administration in regards to the $9,500,454 reserved by the Department of Finance and Administration in fiscal year 2019 to cover the potential national government liability in FSM versus Pacific International, Inc., civil case number 2014-46, bill case number B12-2021.
Chairman Romano.
Move for adoption of the said resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 22-194. Discussion. Short recess. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing resolution number 22-194. Any further discussion?
Question.
Question has been called for. Without objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of resolution 22-194 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution 22-194 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution.
Mr. Speaker, as of now, we do not have any more resolutions.
Short recess. The call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're now, well, there being no further business under the resolution calendar, we're now on item 21, introduction of bills and resolutions. If you have any measure to introduce, give them to our staff. Okay, next item, miscellaneous business. Chairman Furman.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during the State Nation message, our president talked about COVID-19. And one issue that he talked about is the opening of the borders, especially our citizens. I took note on that, and we followed up today with the Department of Health if I can look at the open of the borders, and especially our citizens, to bring them home if they want to come home, those who have not vaccinated yet. And replied from the Secretary of Health says, please do not do that yet, because Chuk and Yap is not ready yet to accept anybody, even the citizens. So that's the reason why I want to share this with all members, especially you, Speaker, because Mr. President stated in his message that we have to open up our borders. So now I've done my research as your Chairman of Health, and this is the information I wanted to share it to all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Berman. How come I'm not surprised by that? I mean, he said there is 140 million already decided with respect to the negotiations, when in fact there is no such agreement in place yet. And he should have just asked his health people, and they could advise him of that. Okay? Any other miscellaneous business?
Mr. Speaker, if you
Vice
were
Chairman
a
Christian?
Western movie follower, you would note that the cowboys just shake hand on agreements.
Yes, and we're not cowboys and
Yeah, but
Indians.
only afterwards, toward the end of the movie, one will shoot the other.
Of course. Chairman Ursula?
And at the very end of the movie, you would see the supposedly the good guy riding off into the sunset.
I don't know which Western movie you've been watching. I haven't seen that on. Okay, any other miscellaneous business? Yes, Vice Chairman Christian?
I had a list, like status report on several things, like I can't find, I think Senator Kulan took my list. No, I'll pass. I can do that tomorrow.
Okay. Chairman Ned, you want, you have a miscellaneous business?
No, thank you.
Okay, if no other miscellaneous business, let's go to announcement. Chairman Figueroa.
Yeah, I'd like to have a public hearing on the Congress Bill number 22-273. Can we have one tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Short recess. So, Chairman Figueroa, you're done with your announcement? Thank you. Chairman Ned.
No announcement, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ned. Chairman Berman.
HSA, still no announcement.
Good. Chairman Romano.
Hello?
He's waving to me. Let the record reflect that Chairman Romulo is waving to me, so. Okay, Chairman Coonan?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. No announcement? Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Climate Change Committee, have oversight hearing at 3:30 p.m. today. Everyone is invited. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To take note, members of Special Committee on Climate Change and Environment issues. Okay. Chairman Urusuma.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee 1E ran watch on Karaoke meeting in the hearing room.
Okay, Ranwich. Kurakew. Okay. Take note, members of Education Committee, of that announcement. Okay, Vice Speaker Moses, an announcement. Vice Chairman Ned. Okay, Vice Chairman Christian.
Mr. Speaker, I'd
It's your
like to
turn.
remind Senator Romulo's members on J&Co that there is a scheduled meeting for tomorrow at 1 p.m., I think. Oh, 1 p.m.? Whatever p.m. And I'd like to announce that Senator Christian would like to meet with the following people if our staff could arrange that, with the chief negotiator and his key staff on JCRP. At their convenience before Friday.
There is that request to our staff for Vice Chairman Christian to meet with the Chief Negotiator on JCRP and relevant staff. Can you, LC and Chief Clerk, relay that to the Chief Negotiator? Okay. Any other announcement, Vice Chairman Christian?
I would like to announce that Congress has yet to receive any status report on the labor ban with the Philippines, and we should want to receive that, where they are on that. Also, Congress should also want to receive the status of pledged funds from PRC, status of convention center progress, status of patrol boats, and status of EEC monitoring and boat patrol. And of course, one that I know we're not going to get is this one. A trip report on presidential trips to foreign countries, including discussions with officials and subject matters discussed with members.
Okay. Continue.
Awes, it's so.
Awes. Okay, take note, LC and Chief Clerk, of those requests.
I will provide this.
It would have been helpful if you had attended the State of the Nation address. So a bunch of those things were, included in there. Okay, LC, take note of those items.
My problem is that I do not understand too many superlative words, especially English superlative words.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that. I mean, that's okay. Any other announcement that was forgotten or was okay?
Yes,
none.
Speaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just handed another note, the hearing tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Tiango on the CP number 22-72. 3 o'clock p.m.
Okay, 22-72.
Yes.
CP 22-72. Okay, take note, members of GENCO, on that bill. All right. If no further business from members, announcement from members, I think floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As already indicated earlier during this session, lunch will be served, and a reminder, 1 o'clock is the Education Committee meeting. So with that, I move that this Congress stands in recess until and subject to call of the chair.
Kailangan?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Any second? It's been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning.